It's turkey time with me, Katie Seeley. Now that we have defrosted our bird, it's time to get him ready for the oven. So I just took him out of his package, and this is what he looks like, right? So inside, you always want to make sure that you pull out the giblets, which is the innards, right? There's going to be the neck, and then you just double check. Sometimes there's organs, and sometimes there's not. You just want to make sure it's nice and clean. I usually don't wash my turkey off because all it really does is just spread bacteria through my sink instead of actually removing any bacteria off of the bird. So I usually just try to avoid doing that. So usually I take the neck out or any other bits and put them in the bottom of the roasting pan because that's going to help us create a little more flavor in the bottom. So when we add it to our gravy later, we have a lot of that flavor going back into our gravy instead of throwing it away. I season it with salt and pepper. I go all on top of the skin and rub. And then you want to take 2 fingers and go in between the skin and the meat and just kind of pull it. It's going to allow you to have really crispy skin and get your meat all seasoned. Do the same thing for the legs. Just create little bits of air in between the meat and the skin. We're going to do the same thing with our salt. And then the best way I like to do my turkey is to take some butter. This is just regular unsalted butter that I added citrus and garlic and fresh herbs. And then we're just gonna take it and we're gonna shove it into those pockets that we created in between the meat and the skin. This is gonna get us nice crispy skin, but also put moisture into our meat, particularly the breast, so it doesn't dry out when it cooks. And when we're cooking our turkey, I usually put it in the oven at 325 degrees. And you want to calculate about 15 minutes per pound of meat. So a 20-pound bird is going to take about 4.5 to 5 hours in the oven. We're going to take any of that citrus that we use the zest and the juice in the butter. We're just going to throw them in the cavity. We don't want to overfill the cavity because that's going to prevent air from circulating around on the inside of the bird. So what's going to happen is the outside is going to cook, the inside will still be raw, and whatever's in there is going to have raw turkey juice on it. So we try to be sparing with what we shove in there, but just enough that it helps create a little flavor and a little aroma going around the turkey as it cooks. We're gonna take this little flap of skin at the back, tuck the legs in, make sure we press that butter all around. We're gonna take these 2 wings and we're gonna tuck them underneath. Set it in a roasting pan. And then I always put a little extra butter on the outside of the skin. So this is gonna go in a 325-degree oven for 4.5 to 5 hours. We wanna make sure that we take the temperature at the thigh, which is the thickest part right in here. And you wanna make sure it gets to an internal temperature of 160 degrees. So next time, we'll see what this bird looks like when it comes out of the oven.